Well, this has certainly been an interesting month. For those of you who didn't notice, I took a month off of social media because I needed a break. I'm a social person, but it had become extreme. The break was good and it made me think of something, actually, several things, so here we go. I've been using social media too much, and I've also been using it as a distraction or a pastime instead of a tool. This video is on Facebook, so I'll speak to that specifically. I use Facebook to both speak with friends and allies about building a liberty coalition, and also to keep up with friends and family that have nothing to do with politics and are either apolitical or don't discuss them with me. So in short, I'm not leaving, but I'll talk about that more in another video. But moving on to the first topic. I'm sure the Biden presidential victory caught some of my friends by surprise. Maybe you held out hope that President Trump would be reelected, but he wasn't. But I would echo what Adam Carolla said with some minor revisions. The government can't fix your problems, but you live in America. You can do something about your problems. People have felt out of control before. People said that Romney should have eaten Obama and then he lost. People were demoralized, then Trump won against Hillary Clinton. People were terrified that Trump was going to make America fascist, so they voted for Biden. And I can't let this slide. The party of diversity and anti-police prejudice elected an elderly white man and a former prosecutorial DA. Do you guys need a punchline for that? So you may think these things are out of control. You may think that this has forever changed our country. And you may be right, but I suspect that you're wrong. This is a great country. Obama's presidency was eventful. Trump's ranged from humorous and eventful to wild and odd. And you have to say that Trump's patriotism was undeniable. I expect Biden's administration to also be eventful. I do believe that history will look back at his presidency and people will see how low they scooped into the bottom of the barrel. I've said this to friends, I don't think his voters are a movable voting bloc. I think they'll go to their graves saying, yeah, I voted for Biden, and I'd do it again if I had to. But I do think history and people in the future will record this as a mistake. So desperate were they to oust a man they were told was a white supremacist, and the party said to be composed of old white people, they voted for an elderly white man who lost California in the Democrat primary. Making this about more than just the man President Joe Biden, I'm optimistic that people will see what they voted for, leftism. And by the way, I don't see a whole lot of backlash over people writing this kind of garbage. I'm sure you can just imagine what kind of backlash there would have been if a piece like this was written about Obama's first weekend out of the presidential office. I don't remember that being covered at all. I think the media by then was all over Trump. But I'm not even saying here that Trump's being treated unfairly. Why not talk about the man's first weekend? But I am saying there's no consistency. The same standard should apply. These days, we, and especially the younger generation, myself included, are encouraged to think exclusively in terms of things like race and sexual orientation, and increasingly so, gender identity. And I just have to say, I echo what one of mine said. People voted for Trump in many ways as a response to the left. And I remain hopeful that we, as a culture, can drop things like BLM and say that lives matter and drop the hyphens and instead refer to each other as fellow Americans. And I don't know about you, but I've become increasingly perplexed and puzzled watching the strange path our country is going down. I gotta say, I just really don't understand it. People won't see the mistakes of the Biden administration unless people who love liberty talk about them. People should have talked more about the mistakes of the Trump administration. I think the man spent too much money and made several other mistakes. But we have to talk about what's going on. And I just have to say, I've thought about this. This wasn't even something I was planning on talking about. But for those of you who are saying things like give Biden a chance, there's two questions. Number one, did the left give Trump a chance whenever he first took office? Did they give him a chance before he took office? No. But moving past that, it's also increasingly difficult to give an administration a chance when he signs 17 executive orders on his first day in office. So we should be talking about the government, the mistakes they make, and occasionally, increasingly less so, things that they get right. So we have our work cut out for us, don't we? But mistakes or no, more government is not going to fix your problems. So work on fixing your own problems, and for the ones that you can't fix, pray that God would fix them instead because they're in His hands anyway. Thank you so much, I have to say, to all of you for listening to me and following me during this long break. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to watch more of my content, you know where to find me, right here and on my page, The Renowned Reviewer. Peace.